Hello, good day. How are you today? You good, right? Okay. Are you ready for today's lesson? You are? That is good. So today in mathematics, we are going to be learning about changing from fraction to decimal. Okay? Today's lesson is on changing from fraction to decimal. Are you prepared for today's lesson? Good. Decimals are special kind of fraction but are written in dots instead of fraction bar. The dot is called the decimal point. Okay? In a decimal number, there's a decimal point that separates the whole number part from a fractional part. Okay, so these are examples of decimals: 0.4, 5.78, 20.74. So these are decimal representatives. As long as you see a number with a point, it's called a decimal. So 0.4 is a decimal representative. It's a decimal number. Okay? There is a point. So now, today's lesson, we said we're going to be learning about changing the fraction to decimal, right? So we're going to be looking at some examples to help us know better. Convert to decimal. 1/2. You have to convert 1/2 to decimal. And how do we do that? We are going to be using the long division method. Okay? We are going to be using the long division method. So this is the long division method. 2 is to divide 1. Okay? So if 2 is to divide 1, is that possible? It's not possible, right? So we have to look for an alternative. So for 2 to divide 1, we have to add 0 and a decimal point. When you add the decimal points, you can add 0 to 1. So you have 10 here. Can 2 divide 10? Yes, 2 can divide 10. If 2 divide 10, it will be 5. So 2 can divide 10 without a remainder, right? So you write 5 up and say 5 times 2 will give you 10. So you write 10 again. You write 10 under the first 10. And when 10 minuses 10, it will give you 0. When you get to this point of two numbers here, you have to minus. So 10 minus 10 will give you 0. So our answer is 0.5. Okay? 0.5 is our answer. The numbers we wrote up is our answer. Okay? So 1/2 changing to a decimal is 0.5. Okay? If you're representing 1/2 in decimal is 0.5. Do we understand that? Next example, convert to decimal 3/5. We have to convert 3/5 to decimal. Remember, this is a fraction, so we have to convert it to decimal. So 5 is to divide 3. We are using the long division method. And can 5 go into 3? It's not possible. So we have to add 0 up and put a point sign. When we have the point sign, you can add 0 to 3. So we have 30 here. And can 5 divide 30 without remainder? Yes. It will give us 6. So we write 6 up, and 6 times 5 will give us 30. So we write 30. Then we say 30 minus 30 is going to give us 0. So our answer is 0.6. So 3/5 in a decimal is 0.6. Do we understand that? Good. We are going to be looking at more examples to help us understand better. Convert to decimal. 7 over 2. 7 over 2 is an improper fraction, right? Because 7, which is the numerator, is greater than 2, which is the denominator. We know that is an improper fraction, right? Good. So we have to convert 7 over 2 to decimal. So can 2 go into 7? Yes, we're using the long division method, remember? Can 2 go into 7? Yes, it can. If 2 go into 7, it will go 3 times. So we write out 3, and 3 times 2 will give us 6. So 7 minus 6 is 1. 2 cannot go into 1, right? So we put a point and add 0. When you put a point, you can add 0 to the number. We have 1 here and we put a point to add 0. When we added 0, can 2 go into 10? Yes, it can go into 10, which is 5. So 5, we'll write it up, and 5 times 2 will give us 10. So 10 minus 10 will give us 0. So our answer is 3.5. 7 over 2 in decimal is 3.5. Okay? Do we understand that? Let's look at another example. Convert to decimal. 2 over 3. Can 3 go into 2? No. Remember, we are using the long division. So we write 3 and 2. Write 0 up and put a decimal point for us to add 0 to 2. So when we put our decimal point, we can add 0. Can 3 go into 20? It will go in 6 places. So write 6. 6 times 3 is 18. So you write 18. So 20 minus 18 will give you 2. You are left with 2. Since we have a decimal point here, we can add 0 to our number. So we add 0 again. 3 in 20 is 6 again. 6 times 3 is 18. And 20 minus 18 will give you 2. We have decimal, so we can add 0. Write 0 again. 3 in 20 is 6 again. 6 times 3 is 18. So 20 minus 18 is 2. It keeps on repeating itself, right? So we stop here. So our answer is 0.666. We have 0.666. We can leave it like this or we approximate, okay? If the number at the end, which is this 6, is up to 5, you can approximate it to the next number. But if it's below 5, you cannot approximate. So since it's more than 5, we have 6, we can still approximate by adding to the next number. Okay, so our answer will be 0.67. When you are approximating, you are just adding the number to the next number. It's not 6 plus 6, you will write 12. No, you are just moving the number to the next number just to add 1. So that's why we have 0.67. Okay, you can either leave your answer like this, or you leave it like this. Okay, do we understand that? Good. Let's look at another example. Convert to decimal. 5 over 8. We have to convert this to decimal. So you write out in your division form, your long division form. Can 8 go into 5? No, it's not possible. So you write 0 and put a point. Then you can add 0 to 5. You now have 50. Can 8 go into 50? It will go 6 times. So you write out 6 up, and 6 times 8 will give you 48. Okay, so 50 minus 48 will give you 2. Since we have a decimal point here already, we can add 0. So 8 in 20, it will be 2. It will go 2 times. So 2 times 8 will give us 16. So 20 minus 16 is 4. We have a decimal point here, so we can add 0. When you add 0, you add 30. 1840 is 5. It will go 5 times. 5 times 8, you write 5 up, and 5 times 8 will give us 30. So 40 minus 40 is 0. So our answer is 0.625. Changing 5 over 8 to decimal, you have 0.625. Do we understand that? So we now know how to change fractions to decimal, right? Good. Here we have convert to decimal. This is a mixed fraction. 1, 3 over 4. It's a mixed fraction. First of all, we are going to be changing it to an improper fraction. Okay? To change to an improper fraction, it will be 4 times 1 plus 3. 4 times 1 plus 3. 4, the denominator times the whole number plus the numerator. It will give us 7. So it will be 7 over 4. We are going to be maintaining our denominator, which is 4. So we have 7 over 4. So we have to change 7 over 4 to decimal. Okay? So we write out 4 and 7, the long division method. Can 4 go into 7? Yes, it will go once. So you write out 1, and 1 times 4 will give you 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. You put a point and add 0. You now have 30. 4 in 30 is 7. It will go 7 times. So 7 times 4 will give you 28. 30 minus 28 will give you 2. Since we have a decimal point here, we can add 0 to our 2. So you add 0 to 2. Now you have 20. 4 in 20, it will go into 5 places. So you write 5, and 5 times 4 will give you 20. So 20 minus 20 is 0. So our answer is 1.75. So converting this mixed fraction to decimal is 1.75. We first of all converted it to an improper fraction. After converting it to improper fraction, we used the long division method to get our point, which we arrived at 1.75. Do we understand that? Good. Our next example, we have convert 3 over 10 to decimal. This is a mixed fraction, so you change to an improper fraction first. So it is denominator times whole number plus numerator, which is 10 times 5 plus 3. It will give us 53, and we maintain our denominator, right? So it's 53 over 10. Then we use the long division method to get our point. Write 10 and 53. 10 in 53 is 5 places. So 5 times 10 is 50. Write 50 under the 53. 53 minus 50 will give us 3. We put a decimal point and add 0. So we now have 30. 10 in 30 is 3. So write 3. 3 times 10 is 30. So write 30. 30 minus 30 is 0. So our answer is 5.3. So converting this mixed fraction into decimal is 5.3. Do we understand that? We understood that, right? So we now know how to convert from a fraction to decimal, right? We did for a proper fraction, improper fraction, and a mixed fraction. So we can do all, right? Good. So now we are going to be looking at our assignment. I'm sure we're going to be able to do our assignment, right? Because we learned about it in today's lesson. Keep on practicing because practice makes perfect, okay? Good.